escape sequence. On that note, looks like we are off, so let's pause for a moment. This is the only text box.
Ah, I'm not so sure about that.
I don't think so, although maybe blind is not required. That being said, Ganon still has a text box, so that's still wrong.
Yeah, and we already got a couple of rupees in Link's house, which is pretty nice for, like, you know, like buying early bombs when they get to Kakariko.
Yeah, 50 is real solid to get so early. But as I was, let's jump back to those weapons again. Do you have any favorite weapons that you like to see early on here?
I always like to see bombs. You know, like there's a couple of different strats that are very good, and I'm always interested to see who does what strategy. But it looks like we got the all right.
Because I really like the case of Mario for sort of the same reason. There's a lot of strategies that can be used, and they're a lot about the risk versus reward for the Samaria strats. You can go really fast, but use more magic, or you can go a little bit slower, but you'll use basically none of your quote-unquote ammunition. So yeah, I really like the Cane of Samaria because it's not similar to the bombs. There's a lot of technique to how you can use them. And I like that about the Cane of Samaria, but it's of course not as restrictive of what you can do.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of good because it also allows a lot of farming for bombs, which these runners obviously want to get to the back of the escape. But I don't know, I always feel like really helpless with the Cane of Samaria because, you know, it always feels kind of slow, I guess.
Yeah, and you have to really start using the explosions in interesting ways to really make the Cane of Samaria fast. But if you know how to use the Cane of Samaria, darn is it fast. Like, there we go. We just see Kyong, just a small misplay there cost him a couple seconds, unfortunately, but that's the way of the Cane of Samaria. Of course, neither player finding a bomb yet, so I haven't even seen a lot of drops, much less bombs. As we go here, both runners, though, very close. Oh, that went okay. There's a bomb. Kyong with a drum bop on a green card, and then we just pick up bombs in that chest.
And that's always really nice to see. So that's basically like nothing left to worry about in escape.
Yeah, you're fine now. Now you're just like, come on, give me a mirror in this last chest. Make it super fast.
That's like the optimal scenario, I guess. Get like a couple of rupees, a couple of bombs, and then the mirror somewhere.
Yeah, we're both runners at 105 rupees already. Like that's ridiculous. Eriror with some nice strats. They never quite got the block far enough into the wall to make it very fast, but made it well enough that he at least, I think, gained time over Kyong. Maybe Kyong was just that far behind already. But using the Cane of Samaria to do the final hits, I think to do it fastest, you can drain like half your magic bar as you walk across the room and fire Cane of Samaria shots at him, and it's actually quite fast. But most players will typically pick up a pot, especially if they've taken any damage, and then finish them, and then either second potted or 4 hits with the Cane of Samaria.
Yeah, I think that's what I would do as well. Like,
if you get it right, I must say, if you get it right, you corner him and he just dies to four ticks of the block being there.
Yeah, doesn't the block also despawn at some point after like a couple of hits?
4 or 5 hits typically, yeah.
Alright.
Although I'm not sure how invulnerability frames affect that timer. Because of course in like the blind fight, often you'll see it despawn in 2 or 3 hits, and I'm not sure if that's because of blind going invulnerable while you've hit him, or whether that's because of the other heads in contact, or whatever the case is. But yes, it will despawn after some time.
Also, I want to mention a thing at this point that both runners are doing, and that's avoiding so-called staircase lag. So you see Eriror is about to run down the staircase, and as soon as he gets out, he holds just the left input. That like avoids the lag. Like if you just go out normally by pressing down or any other direction that's not left or right, it will cause like a couple of lag frames. So both runners are like pretty solid in NMG, and that's like a thing you can do.
Yeah. Eriror lost some time using magic to try to clear out some of the ropes, and is also fairly low on magic. Shouldn't really be a problem. Kyong92 is pretty safe at killing the key rat, especially if you're not too worried about using the explosion to do so, but if that does cause any issues here. Another bomb. Eriror will definitely pick that up because 4 bombs is a very nice amount to have going into Kakariko. Because of course that way you can clear this bomb, well, not going into Kakariko, but finishing escape here, because it gives you enough bombs to clear Kakariko as well. Early Moon Pearl and early Fire Rod. Wow, if you hadn't found a bomb in here. Now granted, I guess they gave us bombs, so never mind that if.
That's a pretty good back of escape.
Yeah, that's a fantastic back of escape.
Also, both runners got a bottle in the sewer chest, so that means they can access the kid as soon as they get into Kakariko, which is also pretty nice.
We'll see what kind of B strat we get, because it did have a B in it. Most likely it'll be release the B so I can put a potion in its strat, but you never know.
I can see some B strats in Mini Moldom Cave.
Yeah, that's definitely a good place for them. Samaria's a pretty good... Ooh, there's our map check. Vanilla Green Pendant, 6 Crystal on Desert, and Boring Pendant on Tower of Hera.
And looks like Kyong is going to check the Lumberjack Cave, whereas Eriror is just going into Lost Woods, not checking it. Which has become quite popular in these recent, you know, like during the tournament in these recent races.
Yeah, I'd say it's almost as much as that this is a common play from top runners to skip the Lumberjack Cave, as is anything else. I feel like a lot of lower skilled runners, including myself, are like, I just want to know what's there the first time I'm there, so I don't have to think about routing it in again. Whereas these runners that are like, I don't care what's there till I have the boots, or will do exactly that. They won't care what's there until they find the boot.
Yeah, I mean, both opinions make a lot of sense to me.
Exactly.
Because having that knowledge early is like really good, depending on what item is up there, and you know, sometimes can save you a couple of minutes. But as you mentioned, if you don't have the boots, there's like no need to check it because you can't even access it.
Yeah,
and
the only real time it's going to save you time is if you find the boots at the start of like Death Mountain, and then you do all of Death Mountain, don't find anything, then go, oh, I needed to do Aga the whole time.
Yeah,
but
kind of like that.
Yeah, half the time that, oh, nice tree pull for more bombs. That must have been a tier 1 tree pull?
Yeah, I believe so.
Nice job routing in, of course, 2 tree pulls. That's one of the advantages about going the other way. And another bottle with a blue potion in it. Still a little lacking on the defense's side, but we'll see what we can find. That Cane of Burna is always nice, but Eriror can't make much use of that right now because he doesn't have magic. Not like he's going to make much use of it in Kakariko Village anyways.
Yeah. We gotta see what else we find here and see what our runner's next move will be.
Yeah. So there's our first heart container just from all the heart pieces we've picked up. So Eriror, of course, at the moment has enough money for Zora, although we'll be paying off the bottle vendor, so we'll lose that temporarily at least.
Yeah, might also buy some additional bombs, maybe.
Maybe. It's hard to say, especially now with the fact that you'll have 3 bombs, it's even harder. Ooh, oh. Sword!
Yeah, I guess we're not buying bombs now for the Mini Moldom Cave check.
Yeah, definitely for the Mini Moldom Cave check. It'll be interesting to see if we get a fake flipper, or if, of course, if fake flipper becomes not even a thing, because we find the regular flippers. Because of the fact that we have the Moon Pearl and so much early money. And now the thing is, of course, until we get a glove, Zora's not in logic, but fake flipper is one of the easiest ways to get to Zora. Especially if you do it on your first route around.
Yeah, that's true. And Eri is actually deciding to buy some additional bombs and doesn't waste any because they picked up a bomb upgrade, like a capacity upgrade earlier, so that's nice.
Yeah. Kyong almost definitely won't pick any up with 7 bombs already. And a sword. There's not a lot of need of more than that. 3 bombs is cutting it a little close. If you get Dark World access, then you can't do. Then you might have a problem like doing Hype Cave after you did Mini Moldorm and Ice Rod Cave.
Ooh, there's our mirror.
There's a mirror, so things are. We're opening some later options up yet. Of course, nothing that we've got so far has actually done anything for our logic yet.
Definitely some nice items to find, you know, like Fire Rod and Mirror to make, you know, Dark World routing a bit more convenient. And also there was yeah. I'm pretty sure we will be picking that up later.
Probably, unless we're in a boostless seed, we'll see that picked up. And the gloves in the race game. See if Kyong just picks up a little bit of time by just gambling. I don't think he will. Oh, he did.
Oh.
You don't see a lot of runners at this level in non-key sanity blind check this item.
And there's actually also 2 opinions about it. What I heard from a couple of runners is the fact that if you check it, you know, even if it's like just 100 rupees lying there, you will most likely pick it up. And if you go from the bottom, you would not go around and take it. So doing it blind, you know.
I'm of the same opinion. I like to, I sort of go, you know, I wouldn't really pick up the 20 rupees if it was there this time, but 50 or 100 I would pick up if there are any more 50s. There are only 150 in the game. I feel like there's more than 150. Anyways,
I'm not sure. Yeah.
That's largely irrelevant. But like, yeah, I would have probably picked up a 50 or 100 there. I would pick up a piece of heart, which is why I'm always surprised when people blind check it, then leave a piece of heart behind. I'm like, half the reason you did that was so that if it was something like that, you could still pick it up. Anyways.
Yeah, and
there's our answer. There's more than 150. I was pretty sure there was more than 150. I think there's only 100. And so, of course, we are just a hammer or another mid upgrade from Dark World access. Well, at this point.
Which item would you like to see for Dark World access, like personally? Is it like the hammer or the mids upgrade?
If I'm in the race, I'd like to see the hammer, but the mitts is the one troll that I like because it shows off a lot about routing decisions. Especially with the mirror, it's quite an interesting item option because of the fact that it allows so much routing already.
Oh, and there's the hammer. And lamp.
And the lighting. So Death Mountain is entirely in logic as well at this moment, with the lamp pickup. Yeah, lamp, gloves, mirror, and hammer will give us access to everything in Death Mountain, in the light side of Death Mountain. So,
I'm surprised. Yeah, go ahead.
I will say that we're probably not going to see any fake flippers here. I don't think there's enough value in it now with Dark World being open.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that none of these runners did like save and quit after getting that mini Moldorm cave, you know, and try to gamble on Ice Rod Cave. But then again, it's only game 1, so you might not want to take, you know, huge gambles.
Yeah, or on the other hand, you could be playing your opponent and saying they're probably not good. Maybe they're playing the other one to say they would have saved and quit there, and you know. Let's see what options we make. I think we're getting double hype cave check.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if Eriror... So even if Eriror hadn't bought those bombs, after hype cave he would be at 0 bombs. Which actually isn't an awful place to be, but that was only because he got that one bomb drop on a crab on his way around. There's our map check. Red Crystal and Mire. I didn't see where the last pendant was.
And the last pendant was in Palace of Darkness.
Palace of Darkness. So bow not required until we're, like... We need a bow to complete the seed, but it's not required for any of the 7 dungeons. Any of the crystal dungeons. So, it's always interesting in this case, because the bow can be almost
pretty much
anywhere
anyway.
else.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
well,
not...
basically anywhere. It can be anywhere except for on Helmasaur or on Armos Knights. Like, it can be anywhere else.
Yeah, not in the upper part of Ganon's Tower, of course.
True, yeah, not in the last 4 chests of Ganon's Tower either. So we'll see if that comes, if and when that comes into play, or, you know, if we just find the bow along the way somewhere.
Oh, I hope these runners do find it along the way, because that's always, like, not what you want to see as a runner. You know, have, like, either, you know, hookshot not really required, or the bow, and yeah.
French vanilla flute?
Yeah.
I don't... Sort of French... I think that's about as French vanilla as you can get.
Ooh, and boots.
Location. And
Boots right next to it, so...
Okay.
I'm guessing we're gonna pick up that Master Sword, like, right after this.
Yeah, there's no reason not to pick up the Master Sword right now. It just saves too much time, as does Tempered Sword. Like, unless you happen... Well, it doesn't even matter. Even Butter Sword will save time when you get it this early. So even if we do immediately find both the other swords, all sword upgrades are useful at this point in the game. I don't think there's really an exception to that.
So that looks like it's gonna be a nice and quick seed so far, I guess, with Boots, Mirror, and the flute already.
Yeah, the only problem you have now is the fact that, like we said, everything's wide open. You can go to so many places at this point.
Yeah.
Titans being one of the big items that's still blocking off locations, I think. Yeah, that's about the only item that's still blocking off a lot of locations at this point. So we'll see where we find those Titans mitts and how soon we find those Titans. Kyong does his mirror, or does his mirror.
Yeah.
And of course, like we said, pick up the Master Sword.
I'm curious to see where these runners go now, like after they activated the flute.
Yeah. I'm a little surprised that neither one bothered to pick their mirror portal back up, just because they have to take the long way around to get back into Dark World. Maybe they want to go up to Death Mountain or something like that, though, in which case this makes a little bit more sense.
Oh, they weren't able to pick it up because they don't have the Titan's Mitts to go up to the Village of Outcasts.
Oh,
so that
right,
makes a lot of sense.
Yes, I'm being silly.
Oh, it's all good.
You can't take the shortcut to the Kakariko Village because of the same reason that you can't take the shortcut to get to the Dark Warp by Kakariko Village.
It looks like both runners are deciding to go to Village of Outcasts or maybe Skywoods. I mean, yeah. Skywoods is clearable at this point, so might as well do that now.
Yeah, we can see either play. Both Thiefstown and Skullwoods are crystals. They're both full clearable. Both make sense.
Are we getting that full magic drop?
Intentional magic, I imagine. Intentional bonk for magic. Or maybe it was unintentional with pleasant side effects, whichever it was.
That was totally unintentional, right?
More bombs. Kyong straight into Thiefstown. Eriror's going to clear the area around Thiefstown first.
It shouldn't make too much of a difference.
No, it shouldn't make... It should make basically no difference. It might make a second or two. I'm not sure of the exact potential differences that can arise from this. Yeah, it'll make literally no difference.
Yeah. I think the only difference it could make if we find mitts in here. And then Kyong can, you know, get the bombable hut and get the smith on its way back.
Yeah, but going over to the C-shaped house and straight down from there is not a huge difference anyways, so... C-shaped house is still outlying for both players.
Yeah, I mean, even if the
So many plays.
Yeah, both runners have the boots anyway, so it's just like 1 or 2 seconds maybe.
Really, you know where we're supposed to be hoping the Titans mitts are at this point, right? In King's 2.
Oh yeah.
Because it's always more fun when you put those items that are locked by an item in that item location.
Yeah, and you have to take like an alternative route to get there. Yeah.
So that's where Titans Myth is in the King's Tomb.
I feel like we're gonna see them pretty late for some reason.
You think it'll be a little bit trollier than King's Tomb?
Yeah, I'm thinking like maybe in Swamp after we get like the hookshot and Flipper somewhere.
Yeah.
That's gonna be my guess for now.
It could be. I always like just hoping for the meta silliness picks. I always hope for like Moon Pearl and Checkerboard Cave or Titan Myths in King's Tomb. All those silly things. Chad also calling them vanilla mitts. That's not awful either. So I love how this is the dungeon where like we need to put the level 2 mitts somewhere. Let's just throw them in this dungeon. Anyways, more bombs because we needed more bombs. I have not been keeping enough track of this of our item count.
Oh, I was just about to ask how many items we got. All right.
It doesn't. Well, either this is a small key. Okay, it is a small key. It could have also been. It could have also locked the small key potentially.
We still need 2 items. I saw all the dungeon items in Ares
okay.
menu.
Woohoo! 10 arrows for that bow that's gonna troll us all season.
I can imagine both runners being at like 60 arrows, still no bow inside. That always feels kind of bad.
Yep. Hey, at least Swamp's a crystal, because it could have been worse. We could have had instead of Tower of Hera pendant, we could have had Swamp Palace pendant, and we could have had 2 items that we don't need until go mode.
Oh. That would be like... That's probably like the worst combination of pendants.
I would say so, yeah. Anyways, onto this blind fight. Kyong pulling off the script just fine. Of course, this boss appearing to be random, but if you do the same thing every time, he will take the same path every time.
And Ares looking good so far as well.
Yeah.
And gets it.
Barely even into the light.
Pretty nice fight from both of our runners.
Get the C-shaped house from Eriror. Probably C-shaped house from both runners, of course.
Yeah, I would imagine. Now we're seeing the time save. Which is like a second.
If it was a time save, it's not like they were completely sync at getting into... Like, it's so hard to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. I see no reason why we wouldn't do... Well, I see a reason why we wouldn't do Smiths right now. So, and both runners saying, yeah, we're not doing Smiths right now. Oh wait, we don't have Titan Smiths. What am I talking about?
Yeah, we can't do it.
Guys, let's do Titans. Let's do the thing that needs Titan Smiths without Titan Smiths. Yeah.
Ooh, and Ares gonna check the Lumberjack Cave now. Makes totally sense to me.
Yeah, once again, he found the boots, so that's what he's gonna do. Meanwhile, of course, Kyong running through Skull Woods here. I think he skipped the front. I wasn't really paying attention because I was watching.
Yeah, he skipped it, which also makes a lot of sense. You know, go to the back first, kill Mothula, and then see if you even have to go into the front half.
And that item check gamble works out fairly nicely. He might be able to find both items with his first 2 checks to be done, including one of them being the boss. We'll see what kind of silliness we get here. Nicely executed there. Of course, we are just in green mail for this fight, but runners of this caliber typically fairly confident. If you are, you said both these players do a lot of NMG as well, or at least some NMG experience.
Yeah, I think Kyong is like top 10, top 5 maybe, and Eri's like top 30 at least. And so course, both are like really solid in execution.
Yeah, and this is literally what you would have. This is basically what you would have in this fight normally, right?
You have a tempered sword, but other than that, that's.
Oh right, you would have tempered by now. That's right. Forgot the tempered was before Moth.
It's a really nice fight from Kyong there. And Moth also playing along, not hiding in the spikes too much. Let's see if your theory. Oh no! All right, no. That's not the mids.
That's too bad. But you know, it was another good item to find. You totally the last arrow. Anyways, where are we going, Eri? Are we going back to Dewskull Woods now?
I would think so, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's any other reason to run back with what he's got and what he's already cleared.
And then we might see a Death Mountain play from both players after this.
Yeah,
it's like right next door, and why not just mirror over there and go up?
Actually, with you saying that, I am almost surprised that Eriror didn't just go straight for that play from after King's Tomb and leave this for later. But to each their own, and of course, I think I don't know if I didn't see what was under the bridge there. But the fact going back in obviously wasn't something we needed. We have in this chest, we have the big key, nice. Bomb jump time.
Yeah, really nice spin stress. The sword spins makes. Just gotta dip into the hole for a second and then, you know, release the spin, go out, and it just pushes you across.
Ooh. The bacon sword. So, interesting little thing so because both players made the same gamble, neither one got to benefit from having tempered sword on Mothula, but if you'd done sort of the standard front first strat, you would have, I believe if my counting is right, that last chest that's remaining was the other small key as well, so you would have got the fast way out and you would have had a tempered sword.
Yeah, I think so too, yeah. See how this fight goes for Eri. Ooh, that was really fast in my opinion.
Also, on another note, well, actually, I'm not going to get that far ahead of us. We'll talk about that later. You won't even get to know. You get to live in suspense of what I was thinking about until we get closer.
I mean, I might know what you were thinking, but
you might.
I'm gonna wait.
Anyways, of course, so we've got both runners just doing what the other runner already did.
Yeah, Kyong picking up his bacon medallion while Eri is still looking for the other item in Skyward.
So this I think this is showing off that difference in what the routing meant. I'm also not sure exactly. I wasn't strictly watching their moth fights to see how much that execution affected things, but we do see that, of course, Kyong should be done this a little bit sooner, this overall set of checks a little bit sooner, because after this, he will likely flute to Death Mountain. I'm not sure what other play he would decide to make.
Yeah, yeah, I think so too. He's already equipped the flute, and
you could go to the eastern pod area, but I don't think that's a play. They're going to do Death Mountain over the eastern pod area.
Yeah, I mean, pod and eastern are pendant, so why would you go there if you have like all of the Death Mountain available except for the Dark World pod?
Yeah. The only advantage, of course, is the fact that you can, once again, you can say, my opponent's probably not going to do this either. So you can make the play of saying, let's go check, like, Sahasrarla's hut even if you did it for just that, go, let's see if there's something good there. But, of course, that could also be empty, and maybe you need to go further. So the thing about a gamble is you have to decide how far you're going and what you're looking for in that gamble.
Oh, and we get another bee from the old man. So that makes 2 bees.
I think we're a little bit beyond bee strats at this point. I don't think there's a lot of useful bee strats left now that, you know, blind is dead and we have a tempered sword. Anyways, piece of heart, sorry. Not too much of interest yet, but of course we still have plenty of checks up here, and if we find the Titan's Mitts, just add another 6 to that. 6
Maybe
plus,
even more.
Yeah, 6 plus however much you want to dip Turtle Rock, if you can dip Turtle Rock. Because of course at this point, if we can get into Turtle Rock, we can do everything except for Trineck. But if we can get in depends, of course, on which medallion is required for entry. Flippers. Okie dokie.
So that opens up all the Flipperlock locations, which are the Zora area, the Hobo, I guess, Lake Hylia Island, and also the first chest in Swamp, right?
Yeah, no, the front of Swamp.
Yeah, yeah.
Not just the first chest. The hammer locks just locks everything behind the first chest.
And so we can also access.
What was on the island?
I think it was. Let's see.
Okay, it was a rupee.
Yeah, it was a big 20. Just
for a second, for some reason, I thought it looked like my glance of it looked like the ice rod the first time I saw it, and I'm like, what?
And we also got Ether in Hera on Kyong's side, which might come into play.
True, yeah. Of course, Hera being another pendant, bit of an interesting case there. Could be a while till Eriror decides to go further into Hera. Or it could just be at the end of this dip if he doesn't find anything really satisfactory, like, you know, Titan's Mitts.
It's all about the mitts today.
Titan's Mitts locking so much from us right now, including being really one of the things that's locking the Desert Palace. Either the Titan's Mitts or the book will give us access to Desert Palace. Well, Blue Mail's always nice.
Yeah, it looks like Ares continuing, so he might get that Ether medallion as well.
Yeah. Yeah, because you can't do much else up here. You could make a play on Spike Cave if you want to, of course. Spike Cave just requires the hammer, the gloves, and in logic, I believe it still requires an invulnerability item.
Yeah, it does. We might even get like both checks from Eri. You know, Tower of Hera, and then after that, get into Spike Cave.
Yeah. It's hard to say, but Spike Cave, since we have the Cane of Burna, is definitely fully in logic, so there is a decent case for just doing it. Especially with the boots. With the boots and the Cane of Burna, you'd only use half your magic bar. If that. Which is typically fairly solid. Anyways, Kyong is going for Pyramid check, and we'll see, I assume that, oh, okay. We're just going for, like, Hylia check. Okay, we're just doing it straight up.
Alright, without even knowing what's up. Alright, fair enough, I guess. And we do get a shovel up on Lake Hylia Island.
I wonder why he's going back into Dark World. What are you trying to do? Maybe he just wants to use the boots. I know he wants to get up here. Okay.
Maybe he wants to do Hobo and then do like
Yeah.
Pyramid into Catfish and then the other Zora area after that.
Yeah, that would make sense. This gets you all. This basically gets you all the overworld flippers checks really fast. I actually never thought about this routing. I actually really like this.
Yeah, same. I never saw that like being done by anyone.
Ooh, Eri takes a bonk early on. It's not really gonna matter too much. He might want to consider turning off the Cane of Burnal like here. Yeah, just gonna turn off the Cane of Burnal to save some magic.
I just got a piece of heart from the Hobo. So nothing too important yet.
20. And powder, so we'll pick that up because there's never really a reason in Rando that you skip the powder. I guess the one exception would be if you've already fake powdered and it takes a while to get wherever the powder is.
Yeah.
But like aside from that, you just pick up powder.
Yeah, Eri's doing like the more, more known way of the flipper checks.
Yeah.
But has to skip out on Pyramid and also on the Shovel and Catfish at this point, unless he decides to go into the Dark World right now.
Yeah. And given that he's not fluting right now, we will not be seeing that. Catfish, what have you got? And then we'll be basically in sync in the Light World part of this. Eri will be a little bit ahead by the looks of it. Not even. No, actually, Kyong's ahead by a little bit as we do these checks.
Yeah, I wonder when Eri's gonna pick up that shovel and what it's gonna lead us to.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit interesting to see how much that matters in the near future here. So what do we need? So to complete all the dungeons at this point, does Titansmiths actually qualify for as the Titansmiths and the Ice Rod? Is all we need to clear all the dungeons, right?
Hookshot as well.
Oh, Hookshot, right. And then we still need the bow at some point.
Yep.
So Kyong is making a swamp play? Where are we
Nope.
going, Kyong?
He's doing the shovel check at this point.
Oh, right, yeah, shovel check, of course.
I can't imagine Eri's gonna pick it up right now.
This is the one advantage about Titans is being a little bit further back. It'd be interesting if this is like the book. Nothing. It's just nothing of interest in the first place. So
This looks like a powder check.
Yeah, powder check. I'll be a little interested to see exactly when we get the a front of swamp play, because that's actually coming up as one of the better options for as a play right now. Of course, the Eastern Pod combo play also being a decent set of items right now as well, especially with Sahasrah's Hut being part of that play.
Ooh.
There they are. There's those Titans mitts.
That's bad news for Eri.
Yep, that could be. We're not sure how long it'll be till he finds those. Edge. We're gonna miss it. Oh, there we go. Piece of heart.
And I would imagine we're going straight into desert after checking the shed and maybe Checkerboard Cave.
Yeah, so Eri may end up a large chunk behind with this play. depending on how far he goes into the dungeons. Now, of course, it could also be his saving grace, depending on what he does find in here. Because if he finds even one of the hookshot or the ice rod, it could be huge that he found them now, whereas Kyong's going to have all these Mitz locations that he's going to do before he bothers coming over to this play.
Yeah.
Eri realizing he doesn't need a bomb for that wall. Boots will do. And nothing into Hospitalis hut.
Nothing on the torch or a piece of heart. So that's one item down in desert.
Yep. Nicely bringing the monkey all the way up so that Kiki doesn't decide to walk all the way from where he was behind you when you were boots dashing in.
Yeah.
It's one of those little things that you see as a newer runner that I was like, why do all these runners like stop their boots dash? You just leave it going and run all the way up the stairs. Then it's like, oh, because it's slower. Surprise.
Oh, and pot is actually bow lock, so bow cannot be in pot.
No, but that's a good thing to find out in a way.
Yeah.
Because of course, there's no reason to try to sequence break pot. It's not a crystal, so you don't even need to go further in. And even though, of course, the hook shot or the ice rod or the Titan's mitts could be there, it's not really worth the potion glitch and sequence break to do on a pendant dungeon.
Yeah, I wonder if Eri will find something here in Eastern Palace. At this point, I think this is like, I don't know, like kind of his last chance that he can catch up to Kyong.
Yeah.
Unless
really
he goes to Pyramid straight after that. It might be an even race if Kyong decides to check Eastern, like sometimes later.
Yeah, there's a couple things that could work out, but Kyong's routing has just been so solid so far this race. Like we said, that little trick to route all the water locations together with some dark world, with those sort of out of the way dark world checks as well, was amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, we found the Sank Heart. So that's not really a benefit for Eriror, but it is a thing he just found. And silver arrows, interesting. Very interesting.
Still no bow though, so can't make much use of it.
It's a little funny that silver arrows are in the bow location.
Yeah.
Like the bow's not here, but the upgraded arrows are.
Oh, maybe the bow is also in here. We have to see. And half magic is our second item in desert.
Interesting. Yeah, at this point, the big thing that one of the, well, actually, we got Tempered Sword in their NMG runners. Never mind. I was gonna say the bow could help on Vidi, which is true. But if you're used to doing the spin strats and we have a Tempered Sword, the spin strats with Tempered Sword still take down Vitreous real fast. Just because I can't do them doesn't... Oh, we are getting a potion glitch.
That's an interesting decision. I mean, it could save him, kind of, if he gets, you know, hookshot or ice rod in here or something.
Yeah.
But he still needs to check this pyramid soon.
This could be a huge play if something is back here, and the bow is even more of it in more of an obtuse location. And did we get it? Yes, we did.
We got it. All right.
Yeah. Well, let's find out what Pod has for us. Key. Does it have another key? It does indeed have another key. Actually, I'm not sure there's an option there. I think when you're.
I think it has to be a key.
Oh no, never mind. That one could be. Never mind. That one doesn't have to be, because as long as these other items in the front are also, as long as you have 2 more small keys over here, like you basically need to have 3 small keys between those 2 chests over there and these 3 chests up here.
Alright, I'm gonna trust you on that one, because I'm really bad with key logic in any dungeon.
Pod is the one that I figured out because of the fact that Pod has a more it has a more meaningful logic to all of us who run this, because every one of the keys actually means something. It means a location you can check.
Looks like we found hookshot on Kyong's side, so that had to be in Maya, I guess.
Yeah.
So that means we only need Ice Rod to complete all the dungeons and a bow to get to Ganon.
Yeah.
So Eri really needs to get the Ice Rod in here, otherwise it's like a disaster for him.
Yeah. And he already knows that. I think that's sort of why he did the potion glitch, is like, he already knows that this play did not work out in terms of like being a gamble that got him ahead.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm gonna put the sunk time. I'm gonna keep the sunk cost and make it into a further cut and put it further down, and we'll see if it works out. And we're still about to see. Meanwhile, Kyong in our favorite cutscene room. By cutscene room, we mean the screen shakes for a while as it makes a grinding sound.
Also, Chad is pointing out something really logical. If Ice Rod is in here, Bow cannot be in GT, because you would need it to get into the Palace of Darkness to get Ice Rod.
That's true. But it could be anywhere that's not locked behind Trinex, which is still a lot of location. At this rate, we have 2 locations left. 1 location left. Just the big chest. What does the big chest have for us today? The confidence.
We still have Helmasaur left, but he decides not to do it.
Well, how can he? He doesn't have a
Oh yeah, that's true. You're correct.
So we have seen every bow optional chest in the game, but a few that are still bow required to get to.
But it looks like Eri's going to Pyramid right now, so that's kind of good for him.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Kyong, of course, on his way to the Vitreous fight. And are we going to see any spooky action here? Is that attempt at spooky action? Did it work?
It did not work.
Yeah, okay.
But it was an attempt. So
Okay.
props for that.
Which is what I was going to talk about earlier. I'm like, I don't know enough about spooky action glitch. No. I can't really recognize when it's being triggered. So
I kind of know how it works, but I don't know what disarms it, kind of. So yeah, I just noticed that it didn't make the, you know, click sound as if you hit a switch, and
Yeah.
that's basically why it didn't work in the end.
I was pretty sure it hadn't worked because of exactly that. I'm like, I didn't hear a crystal switch sound. I didn't see the sort of little pause you get as they switch. Whoops. That didn't make it past the posts. There we go. Nice phase 1 for Kyong. Now he's just going to try to get above the eyeball to sort of keep it down. It is going to break out a little bit. I have no idea how many slashes it takes. I just know it takes way longer than it feels like it should, but, you know, as it goes for the only boss who is affected by silver arrows who can survive one, other than Ganon himself.
So what's gonna be Kyong's next move? I would say it's gonna be Ice Palace at this point.
These are just Ice Palace.
Maybe Swamp.
Well, and you could also just make the play to Dark Death Mountain, and if you want to, first of all, confirm what medallion you need for full go mode, as well as just it being a nice set of item checks. I imagine that we'll probably see everything else done first. But it's hard to say, especially with Ice Palace and Swamp Palace being those dungeons that you sort of want to go mode anyways.
Yeah.
So I could definitely see a Turtle Rock play coming in here to confirm what go mode looks like.
I think it really depends on like personal preference of these runners.
Exactly, and that does not look like a Turtle Rock play.
Looks like Swamp to me.
Yeah, that looks like Swamp. I would agree. I'm not that surprised. I almost like Ice Palace more, because the difference between Ice Palace full clear and go mode, I think, is less than people think it is. Whereas Swamp Palace, well, if you do the full front, if you just do the up first strat, Swamp can also be very, very much similar to its go mode, but...
Yeah, I think if I would do Swamp in this situation, I would just skip left side.
Yeah,
and
when you're
hope,
one item.
Yeah. And
well,
hope
an item and a half.
Alright, fair enough.
Silly bow. This was Randomizer, we wouldn't need the bow. Anyways, forgetting about that Randomizer clip, we're charging through Eriror, of course, in Mire. Gonna find that hook shot fairly soon. Like, you know, right there. And Kyong gets a big 20 in the first chest of Swamp. Well, though, and just to reply to the statement about skipping left, we're not talking about skipping left side of Swamp so much as you leave it till last. The reason for that, now it depends a little bit on if you find the big key early or not. But the reason that I personally like to do up first, like, all the time, is because I like to not have to come back in if I do left first and then find the big key on Argus, come all the way back for the big chest again. So I like to do up first in almost any state, just because I prefer the routing of the dungeon by doing so. Do you have any preferences on that, Delane?
Yeah, I would do every dungeon and do Swamp last so that I don't run into this, and then I would go to the back first to see if I get my item. Different
call altogether.
That's basically my approach on Swamp, because I really don't like making the decision on left side or not.
Now, getting a map does change it a little bit, because you know there's an item on left side now.
And actually, Eri gets the spooky action glitch.
Oh, okay.
So, very nice on his side.
I don't know why I'm not watching for this. Why am I not watching for spooky action glitch? Like, the new tech that just keeps getting better.
He's also going for the NMG spin strats, which makes a lot of sense.
Well, it's not like he has a bow, so... And can you get above Vidi? Not quite. So I believe that you can get enough above Vitreous that you can actually just basically keep knocking him down. There's the big key.
Yeah, you can kind of lock him in one of the bottom corners and then just keep slashing or hammering.
Yeah. So Kyong, of course, will turn in that big key later, because he already knows he's going to go left side unless he finds the Ice Rod, like, right now. So there's no reason to turn around to turn in the big key when you know you're going to go back to left side anyways.
And Aries heading into desert now, which makes, I mean, the most sense, I guess.
Yeah, there's no reason not to do. Most of the time, if you can do desert, you should probably do desert if it's a crystal. And we're seeing some zero cycle strats here. He's not going to get the full zero cycle though. Argus got too close and he wasn't able to pull off all the right puffs. But
still very nice though.
Yes, still a very fast one cycle nonetheless. And got the one cycle on the final phase though. Very nice.
And a green rupee. All right. So what is Kyong gonna do?
Well, aside from finish clearing the left side.
Yeah,
probably Ice Palace. I don't see a reason to go Turtle Rock before you go Ice Palace. There's not enough value in that play. If you were gonna do a potential go mode of both Ice Palace and Swamp, there's some value in going to Turtle Rock first, because the mountain climb is part of what you're trying to avoid from going to Turtle Rock early. And so, since we've already done one of the go mode dungeons, you may as well just do the other one that you would have been able to go mode as well, and just try to get what you can out of that one. Oh, also interesting call here that, of course, Pyramid Fairy is open with the Misery Mire and Desert Palace clears, where the 5 and 6 crystals.
Yeah, I was gonna say we might see that after Kyong finished checking the left side.
Yeah, I could see it, because of course that's 2 checks in very quickly, and not well. You'd still mirror and just fly to 8 to go to Ice Palace, so it wouldn't lead to Ice Palace specifically, but this is as close as you're going to get to being just going for the Pyramid Fairy for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I agree.
But I see a lot of players not bother with that when they're this close to go mode. They'd prefer to just sort of keep doing the crystal dungeons that they can full clear.
But I think Pyramid Fairy has a lot of chance to have progressive items.
Anyways, Eriror, of course, has cleaned up Landmola's. And we're gonna find out what's left here. I did not see what was in the big chest, because I'm apparently awful at paying attention to what comes out of chests in this game.
Oh, it was just nothing of importance, so...
Yeah. Well, to be fair, anything that's not the Ice Rod is nothing of importance at this point.
Yeah, or the bow, I guess.
Or the bow, yeah.
At this point, Eri hopes that Ice Rod is go mode so that Kyong might go to Eastern Part with the bow.
Yeah, it really depends on where the bow is. Now, that being said, of course, the Ice Rod is really going to be is going to confirm 7 crystals. Like, he will, if he finds the Ice Rod in Ice Palace, and I imagine he'll do Turtle Rock as much as he can before he really goes hunting for the Ice Rod.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you find the Ice Rod, then you're in go to Ganon's Tower and full clear Ganon's Tower looking for the bow. Because Ganon's Tower just has so many dense locations, because of course there's 23 locations we can get to without the bow in Ganon's Tower. Now, a bunch of those are like keys and such, but so I'm not sure what the actual like pool count is in there, but quite a few.
It's definitely a better bet than, you know, running outside and search overworld or something.
Yeah.
Ooh, and Eri's making a gamble at this point. I kinda like seeing that because he must feel behind at this point with Port and Eastern Palace being a bust, so that's kinda, you know... I mean, maybe it's just the Dark Death Mountain check, but maybe it's the TR gambit.
Well, and as we mentioned before, this isn't really even that odd of a play, because the other two dungeons that are left are the ones that you know that you don't have to do anything special in the Go mode. You just literally go into them, and you take the route to the boss.
Yeah.
Like that's just what you do in both Ice Palace and Swamp Palace. And given that Kyong found nothing of even interest in those dungeons, I think.
Yeah, not yet. I mean, we still have some chests left in Ice. But
true, in Ice Palace, yeah. But
there was nothing in Swamp.
Nothing of even remote interest, right? It didn't have.
Ooh, and Kyong takes a fall here after doing the bomb jump, which always hurts.
Yeah, he's like, oh, we're resetting. That bomb was no good.
And Tetrarch is Ether Mid-Arian, so...
Yeah.
I wonder if Eri's gonna dip in it after doing the Hookshot Cave and Super Bunny Cave.
I imagine that's probably the play. That being said, he has to open it at some point regardless, so I always get a little annoyed at players who open it when it's pendant and they're not planning on going in it anytime in the near future, because I'm like, you just wasted 15 seconds opening the
dungeon, yeah.
But in this case, since you know you're gonna do it, when you have it, you may as well just open it. This hook shot. Okay, there we go. Kyong is finally across the gap. We only had to kill about 6 enemies and pick up half of the drop. Half of them had drops. Okay, what do we have? The Ice Rod! Which means that's not really a huge deal, because Kyong will almost definitely find that, like, immediately. Like, he's going to come here and find that.
Yeah, but that means that Eri...
But it does mean that Eri can skip chests in Ice Palace and Swamp.
He most probably will, I guess, if even if he doesn't find the bow in T-Rock.
Yeah, it's hard to say exactly how Eriror is gonna route from here on out, because he has the ability to skip some chests, but the problem, of course, is that as soon as he skips the bow, he's done for.
Yeah, it kind of depends on the runner's mentality, I guess. I mean, I personally would skip and bank on GT having the bow, just because I already feel behind.
Yeah, and I think I agree in this case, but it's interesting to this race could come down to bow location at this point. Now, if the bow is in here, Kyong just wins.
Yeah.
So that's the big thing, is I don't know where the bow has to be for Eriror to make a comeback.
Yeah, my guess would be like either in TR, GT, or maybe on Pyramid Ferry if Kyong still decides to not check it after doing Ice.
Yeah. Nice burn dash there. Meanwhile, Kyong going backwards through all the locked doors, as we like to do in this mode when we do a bomb jump. Then, of course, onto the iced tea room, which is our last check before Cold Stare. Then we'll head right back and jump back down the hole again.
What do you say? Where's Bo gonna be? I mean, what's your guess?
Well, at this point, I may as well hope for Big Chest GT, because
alright.
that's just the hilarious location for it. It's not
I'm gonna go.
help...
Yeah, sorry.
Well, I was about to say, it's not gonna help Kyong catch up, but it's just a hilarious location.
I'm gonna go with the Pyramid Ferry.
Okay. No, because of course the Games Tower Big Chest is the one location that's opened more by NMG runners than is by rando runners. Now that's only for people that get the red mail, but still open more often by NMG than by.
Yeah, you almost never need it in rando. It's like a really, really, really slim chance that there's like maybe a sword upgrade in there or bow or hookshot or something.
Yeah, I guess in Fighter Sword GT is the main time you see randomizer runners open that chest. And Eriror got the bomb bounce, because why not?
I think the bounce has something to do if you pick up the pod kind of as the bomb is over it.
There's the bow.
Ooh. Alright, so Kyong will still be ahead, I guess.
Yes, Kyong is ahead by a significant margin still.
Yeah.
Because there's no way you skip that chest. Like, unless you literally had every key in the first chest, but I think even then, at this point, there's not enough reason to skip these, I don't think. Interesting little setup there, I like that. Lots of ways to get through that room. I'm never quite sure what's the most effective way to do it. Although I like Cane of Samaria strat just because it saves the menu at this point, because you know you need to be at Cane of Samaria next. But
I think there's there's a couple of strats that are, you know, viable. Alright, so Eri's gonna look for his last key on the laser bridge, and then it's gonna go off to Trinex.
And so, okay, so Kyong will find the Ice Rod before he enters Turtle Rock. It's potentially very important, because otherwise he would have been double dipping Turtle Rock. It's not a surprising check, especially given that he needs more than just the Ice Rod. Of course, he is still for the bow, as we've been talking about the entire time.
Yeah. I think there's like never a reason you would skip these chests here before going into Turtle Rock, unless you're in go mode already.
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. Like, because these locations have just as many locations as Turtle Rock does, except without any of the RNG of they can be anywhere.
Ooh, and Eri gets the bonk while he was trying to do the backstrats on Trinex.
Yeah. At least not a huge... Well, the ice floor is a bit of a pain in the butt, but it would have been difficult to avoid that, regardless of how well they pulled that off, because that was a really fast icing of the floor.
Yeah. It also causes a lot of lag.
As do explosion, but we all live with explosion lag every day in Rando land. Nice quick kill. So yeah, so now we've got Kyong already in Turtle Rock versus Eriror. Of course, still has to fully complete Swamp and Ice, but he will get to go mode them. But then, of course, he has to climb the mountain again.
So my guess is gonna be that Kyong has like about a 2 to 3 minute lead at this point.
Might be more than that. I would imagine the between the 7 crystals there will be about that much. But then the fact that he also has to climb the mountain is another minute and a half or so, I think. It might just be a minute. I'm not actually... Where are you going? Okay, you are going to Swamp. I'm trying to think how... My problem is I have awful knowledge of how long each of these dungeons is.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's kind of like a guess for me as well. I'm not entirely sure.
Because I pretty much know Eriror will finish Swamp before Kyong finishes Turtle Rock, but in terms of how far he'll be into Ice Palace, I have no idea.
I think it will be about midway through it. That's gonna be my guess.
Basically about the bomb jump?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Ooh, and Kyong takes a death. And I don't think he has a fairy. Yeah.
Was that a chain chomp room?
Yeah, so it's not too bad.
And he got the chest, right?
Yeah, he got it.
So, annoying, but at least not a huge deal. And really, you shouldn't be dying. When you have powder, there's not really anywhere else you should die in this dungeon, because there's enough anti-fairies around that probably just pick up a fairy in non... Is it hard mode where fairies get turned off?
I think it's some sort of animizer.
Well, I know at different levels, like that.
Oh, yeah.
Anti-fairies turn into hearts instead or something on hard mode.
Yeah, I can remember that now. I think
Anyway.
it's hard and above.
We're not playing on hard. I don't think we'll see any mainstream hard tournaments anytime in the near future because it just adds a lot of required execution ability to the seeds.
That's a nice bunny sprite on Kyong's side. And I don't know, I'm really impressed that all this lead just came from Kyong's, you know, like good routing decision for the flipper locations. It's just so good.
Eriror not even checking the waterfall cave. He knows he's a mile behind, and he knows that his opponent's going to pick up all the items he needs for go mode. Because of course Kyong's going to enter go mode in, what, 15 seconds here?
Yeah.
Not even.
That seems about right. Oh, he's gonna do Mimic Cave first, though.
Oh, maybe.
So that's a check Eri didn't do. Which actually makes a lot of sense. If you're only looking for one more item, you might as well go for the big chest and then go out again. Doesn't lose too much.
Oh, we're getting another zero cycle play here. Can he do it? Not quite. Very well tried by Eriror there. Missed it by a little bit, but... Oh, missed the silver arrow. Try again. Missed the silver arrow again. He'll just throw another spin on and that'll be the fight. Or he'll miss the spin. And then he'll get the spin after. That'll be the fight.
Kyung just received his bow from the Turtle Rock Big Chest, so that means he's also in go mode now at 1 hour, 12 seconds and about 25 seconds. Did I just say seconds twice?
Possibly.
Alright. Kyung remembering that he has to turn the switch the other way to make it a little bit faster in the last room before Trinex.
Yeah, that could help. Of course, we will see the first two chests of Laser Bridge again here on Kyong's side, or at least I imagine we'll see just those first two chests again. As the first two chests, of course, were... Second chest was the key, counting from the top.
He might go look for silvers, but I think it's pretty unlikely.
Yeah, I don't think NMG runners are too worried about silvers most of the time.
Yeah.
They're like, oh look, it's tempered, silverless. I've never seen this. Oh wait, I've seen it every single run I've ever done. Well, not ever, but we know what we mean. The moment where you're just like, I'm not going to be precise anymore, just get me through this room. That's what Kyong just had. He's like, okay, tricks are done, just get me through.
And it looks like our predictions might come true with Eri being in the bomb jump room as soon as Kyong finishes.
Yeah, that's pretty close to where we were saying.
Kyong going for the back strats as well.
Yep. You just sort of get used to doing this because you're so used to sometimes having the butter sword by now that it's like, you may as well get used to doing that tactic because it allows you to do that zero cycle if you have it right. Nice hammer dash there.
Yeah.
So yeah, we pretty much nailed it there. We just passed through the ice bomb jump. We passed through the ice bomb jump room while Trinex was loading.
Yeah, as Kyong picks up his last crystal, I think you know what that means, right?
Yes, it does. It definitely means that it's time for the game. The game being though not officially endorsed on the ALTTP Randomizer channels. To guess where the big key is in Ganon's Tower, there's 22 possible locations to guess. So get your guesses in chat now. There is no official rewards for getting the right number, but, you know, you could be right this time, potentially.
I mean, if that's not something, then I don't know what is.
Anyways, you have any favorite locations yourself?
My favorite location would be the firebar room on the left side. That's most of the time it's gonna be 8 or 12. What's your location?
Mine is actually the exact same. When you said
Oh.
firebar, I thought you meant the one afterwards, but then you clarified it as 8, so yes, mine is the exact same location.
Oh, but that's firebar room. The other one
Yep.
is the fire snake room.
Snake's room, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's why you never know. You never know.
Alright.
People have different terminology. Hey, look, butter sword. That doesn't really matter that much. Especially since both runners will almost definitely pick that up unless the big key's in Stalfos room and Eriror does Dark Magician strats. Otherwise, both runners will have the butter sword, and that won't be a difference. So we'll be looking at a tempered or a silver versus silverless fight. And of course, the butter sword not really speeding up
The last phase, yeah.
a silverless fight at all. If your execution's good enough, a butter sword literally does nothing for your Ganon fight except for make it easier.
Yep, that's true.
Does nothing for your speed.
I'm pretty sure that both of these runners could pull like
A 1-and-1 off with tempered.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's accurate as well. And if they were able to pull off a 1-and-1 with tempered, it doesn't matter which sword you have at that point. So yeah, we're looking at just under or just over a 2-minute difference. I think Kyong entered at about 1:15:35 is what chat has down. So it's a little bit over 2 minutes then, by the looks of it, probably.
Yeah, Eri gets trolled by these dead rocks.
That wasn't any better.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, in what are we finding there? We found the big key, and it is indeed in the Stalfos room. So if Eriror does do Dark Magician strats, he will find it faster, but will not get a butter sword. If he does Dark Magician strats. And even if he does a straight left side, he will have gained some time back. Or not a straight left side, but just a sort of a traditional routing. I'm not really too sure about how he routes Ganon's Tower.
I think he does the exact same route that Kyong just did.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because the right side play has sort of just become a play that most runners do if you get the small key there.
I mean, he might feel lucky at this point, who knows?
Yeah.
Usually he takes the right way.
That's an interesting dash timing. Well played, Kyong, well played. And yeah, so we're gonna get the exact same route from Eriror.
Nice cane dash, actually. I think I've never seen that. Oh, like the dash against the block.
Yeah. It's an interesting one. I've seen it around a couple times. I'm not actually sure how precise the setup is on that. Like, I don't know if basically if you just cane dash it into that wall, it automatically works, or whether there's actually a setup you need to be worried about for that.
I think just dashing against it should work.
I would assume so. I don't know enough about how silly they can be. Not too bad at Lamolas. I like with Buttersword, I actually like powdering that anti-fairy and trying to just get them all with one spin of the Buttersword.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a valid strategy at that point.
I think I would imagine that's literally the fastest way to take the adult Lamolas, although I'm not sure exactly how the menu time affects that. I think it's also a little bit easier if you wait a moment to really set up all the cycles, but I've never actually pulled it off yet. I just always pretend that it's really amazing and it's the best way to do it, you know.
Yeah, I think it's like kind of equal as the Silvero skill, maybe.
Well, and it's almost a guaranteed 2-cycle anyways, because you're typically going to hit. You're going to at least hit them all with one butter, and then it's just one more slash to each of them.
Oh yeah.
So that's
so
part of why I like it specifically as a trick with the butter sword. Because with you can do the same. You can actually do the same thing with the tempered sword, but if you miss the one shot, then you need 2 slashes to finish off each mola, which is a little bit more than you want to be doing.
Kyong filling up his resources just for that Moldom 2 fight.
Yep. So yeah, so as long as... Now, with it being a silverless fight, it's slightly more possible that something does happen with Kyong here. It's highly unlikely, but there is some possibility that he gets too close to Ganon and Ganon knocks him off the edge type of thing.
Yeah, that's basically like the only chance Eri can come back now.
Yeah, that's the only chance Eri has at this point, is for that situation to occur. Oh, I think that was a double?
I'm not too sure. Maybe there was...
Might not have been a double because of a...
Yeah.
What's the word I'm looking for?
Simultaneous, yeah.
Hit. That was definitely a double. Wait, what? I'm confused. Did he just get through the room so fast that the Lamola still had a regular cycle?
Yeah, I think if you do it fast enough, it's only like a little bit delayed.
Okay, sure.
Alright, Kyong entering his Ganon fight with Butter Sword and without Silvers at this point.
Ganon stating that he'd be more encouraging about thinking outside the box if there was more evidence of thinking inside it. Someone's just not a happy camper.
Also, I think at this point, it's pretty safe to say that the uncle lied to us in the beginning.
Yes, there was another text box. There was 2 more text boxes. What a liar Uncle is. I guess Ganon had two text boxes even, just to make it even worse. There's the second one.
When Kyong didn't get the quick hit because Ganon decided to not teleport at all at this place. So you can get like a hit in immediately when phase 4 starts if Ganon, you know, actually teleports. Sometimes he will stay in the same place and then he just turns blue and you don't get a silverless hit.
Now we're gonna see how many triples he can get in here. Not having any problem landing them all yet, of course.
I think we're looking at 8 hits by now.
Did he miss a 3-cycle, or did you say that before the 3rd hit of the set?
Oh, he didn't miss any yet, but he can only get 2 in the first one.
Right. Oh, right, because of the fact he was lamping to make sure he got the torch glitch without using all his magic.
Pretty solid Ganon fight, at least in phase 4 from Kyong's side.
Yeah, it was a pretty good race, but Kyong does walk through the doors with an official SRTV time of 1:24.19. And the seed says time for another one, and their answer is yes, sometime. Because we still have race 2.
And it looks like Kyong is ready to join us. Should we pull him in or wait until Eri finishes?
Maybe we just wait till if he jumps in, we'll talk to him a little bit. But yeah, let's go ahead and let's let's just let Eri have his time to show us his Ganon fight.
All right, fair enough.
Show us the silver fight. And there we are, one cycle there, and then we're getting some dash pokes.
He's going for the full tempered stress. All right.
Are dash pokes like as fast as swings are? I don't even know.
You dash poke basically because you can stand inside the ring of firebirds or fire bats, so you don't get knocked into them.
Exactly, yeah.
That's kind of the reason why you do it.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure how the timing worked out versus like if you just cape and slash. I wonder what the count difference. Doesn't matter. You can do it 12 of either way. So
yeah.
And of course, we only need 6 when it's butter, but nice torch glitch, and we're getting that. What a Ganon fight!
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Wow. That was
so only a 2-minute difference at this point. I think that's pretty impressive considering how late Eri got the mids.
Yeah, Eriror walks through with an official time of 1:26.22, difference of 2 minutes and 3 seconds.
Yeah, so GG to both our runners, and I think we should get them in here.
Exactly. GG, you two. Eriror and Kyong both joining us here.
Thank you. GG.
Yeah, GG, Kyong.
So I see quite the discussion in there. So you guys have already talked a little bit, but any sort of quick views that you want to share with the audience on how you guys think that seed went?
Well, I think it was the most straightforward seed ever, in a way. I mean, once you found the mids, it really led to all the items. But yeah, the mids were the choke point, I guess.
Yeah, I like them. It's being a choke point because it sort of says, "Don't do the hard dungeons yet. You need to just go find the mids first."
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
And talking about the mids, that was basically what made the difference between you guys, because Kyong had like a very beautiful route for all the flipper locations, and you decided to go, Eri decided to go with the more conventional route, I guess, which kind of isolated Pyramid and Catfish, so that made you go into Eastern and Port before doing these checks. So that was basically the difference, but you made up a lot of time by going into Turtle Rock and, you know, like gambling on Ice Road, being on Death Mountain, I guess.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was going to Turtle Rock once I went to Dark Death Mountain. I don't think going to Dark Death Mountain is necessarily a gamble, but once I found the Ice Rod on VDM, going to TR was pretty free. And yeah, the fact that Bo was actually there. I mean, I was planning on go moding regardless, like not necessarily hard go mode for Swamp and Ice, but to just go to GT if possible. But once I found the Bo in Turtle Rock, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll hope that. But you found both locations, and we're like, well, unfortunately, that puts Eriror solidly behind because Kyong will find both of those items with no problem. Like, the only real thing that could have happened was if Kyong went straight into Turtle Rock instead of checking Hookshot Cave and Super Bunny Cave first.
Yeah, what I hoped when I found both items, like, once I found the Ice Rod, I knew I was screwed because I really did pod and EP for nothing. Like, maybe if the bow was somewhere and the Ice Rod behind one of the bosses, I would maybe be okay-ish. But at that point, I just hoped that Kyong did everything before going to Death Mountain, because otherwise I had no chance. And well, that's exactly what happened. Like, I had no chance.
Speaking of that, so was that sort of the potion glitch? You're like, I'm super far behind because I just did these checks. I need to make this pay off type of thing? Or why do you think, what was your reasoning for doing that? Or was it just sort of, I'm here, I'm going to do it now?
I was going to potion glitch regardless, unless I found mids or... yeah, probably just the mids. Right.
Okay.
I mean, if I found everything aside from Bow, then sure I wouldn't do it. Or if I found the mids, because that unlocks so much. But otherwise, I think just clearing out a dungeon is fine. I mean, it's kind of greedy because you don't know if anything is locked behind the bow, especially once both VP and Paul are pendants, but I thought it was pretty reasonable to expect that something might be
Yeah.
there.
I do think it's reasonable too.
Yeah, and it's not like we were saying that it's definitely wrong or anything, but it especially when you had enough items, because at that point you still needed the hook shot, the ice rod, the Titan's Mitts. Was there anything else that you still needed at that point? That might have been it, just those 3 items.
Yeah, potentially bombos, but
Yeah,
otherwise...
potentially bombos, yeah.
Yeah.
Which we know that you didn't, because both dungeons were ether.
Yeah, that was another thing. I really hope that Kyong maybe just bailed out of Tower of Hera after finding the flippers, but I don't think that happened.
He actually got it like a minute before you because he went into Hera and then proceeded with the east side of Death Mountain, and you went like the other way around.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
guys-
wanted to link it with Spike Cave.
Yeah, I thought about that.
Yeah, until the difference of the flippers routing, you guys did the exact same thing basically the whole way through.
Yeah, you were basically within a minute of each other, you know, like slight diversions in some places, but all in all, kind of what you said earlier, kind of a straightforward seed, I guess.
Yeah, not too much troll. Like the trolliest thing was Titan's Mitts, but they blocked off so much that you were already down to like last couple checks anyways, so.
Yeah.
And everything else you'd done was pretty much what you would have done anyways, because you had to do Skullwoods anyways, you had to do Thieves Town anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
So aside from the Eastern Palace pod play that you made.
I was slightly miffed that I found Tempered after doing Mafia.
You both routed that.
Ah!
The best
That
part was
fight
that,
took a while too. It was so.
the best part is, if my counting is right, the other chest was a small key as well.
Or the map. I think the small key could be in the big chest.
No, there was map in the big chest. Kyong
Okay.
picked it up.
Yeah, then it was a small key. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, you would have even had a fast exit. Well, you would have probably still bomb jumped and gotten the big. You would have then probably gotten every chest. Depending on how you routed it, maybe you got the red rupee and the big key chest and bailed after that, or not bailed, but just went straight to Moth and skipped the one under the bridge.
Yeah, that was what would have happened. I just tried to avoid the big mummy room, but I don't know how much it would have saved. I guess quite a bit, because then I wouldn't have had to do the whole walk back, because I already did the bonk spots and stuff.
Yeah, it would have saved. It would have saved in retrospect because we know where the item was, but that's where it's always hard to say. It's like, if you'd done it in this case, it would have been super fast. But
Yeah.
if that item had been on Moth or the bridge, that would have been fantastic routing by both of you.
Yeah. I had a good
I,
month regardless.
I still had the bonk spots to do, so I started from the backside.
Oh, right, yeah. Eri, you did the bonk locations first, whereas Kyong did them afterwards. One of the few divergences you guys had, but does it even count as a divergence when it's part of the same play?
I think Kyong's play was maybe like a couple of seconds faster in the end, but
Yeah.
not that it mattered in the end, I guess.
Oof, 28 bongs.
Yeah,
Well,
you
we're
bonked
also
a
coming
couple
to
of times.
We're almost coming up to that point that I saw you guys mention in chat. Look at those collection rates. Look at those beautiful collection rates. So there's the difference between full clearing Eastern and Pod, except for the bosses, versus full clearing Swamp and Ice Palace.
Yeah, pretty much.
And Mimic Cave check, because Kyong did Mimic Cave.
And Kyong picked up the Buckner in the Stafford's room, which Eri did not.
Yeah, there was literally nothing else I needed.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, the travel time to and from Pod and stuff, it all adds up a little bit, I guess. But
Yeah.
Still, I didn't execute that well.
At least you found silver arrows.
Worth.
Heck, if you hadn't done potion glitch, would that have actually been enough to like? It would have actually been a fairly neutral gamble, just on finding silver arrows.
Yeah.
With how bad with that Ganon, you killed that kill of Ganon was amazing. Speaking of,
it was a sweet double. Yeah,
it was a sweet double.
Actually, it was a pretty good phase 4 on both sides. Kyong getting a little bit unlucky with the, like the instant hit with Ganon turning blue, but other than that, it was beautiful.
Yeah, I missed one spin.
Oh yeah, when he was going to the top right, I think you tried to get for like a slash hit in there, but
Yeah.
It's almost impossible because you're lighting a torch on the literal opposite of the room. You can only get so close to him. Anyways. Yeah, so 2 minute, 3 second official difference there. When do you guys have your second race scheduled already?
Yep, Sunday.
Yep.
Back to back if necessary.
I hope it's necessary.
Kong's like, no, just if it's necessary. Eriror's like, no, we have 2 races on Sunday.
I'm gonna make it happen.
No, fantastic race overall. Of course, the play to Eastern and Pod didn't play out, and that unfortunately made a lot of the difference in the race. But if you go back and watch this, and you guys were basically interchanging who was in first, who sort of appeared to be in first based on what little checks you did or minor execution. It was a fantastic race.
Yeah, I mean, I hope the next 2 are just as close. Might not be good for our hearts, but I mean, I think we have a pretty good matchup going on.
Yeah,
that definitely was a good match, and if you guys enjoyed it, make sure to come back on Sunday at 2:30 Eastern PM Eastern, and also the race that we might see after that at 5 PM between these guys. Also make sure to follow both of them, and shoutouts to our tracker Cassidy Moen and our restreamer Tiro Riku. And of course to my co-commentators, Biffus the Grand. I don't know, do you guys have any last words you want to, shout out?
Well, I would like to shout out Kyong for helping me so much with, teaching me stuff when you dropped by my stream a couple of times from running NMG. I really learned quite a bit from him, and he's been super supportive. So being matched up against him is, kind of cool in that way. But yeah,
make
really
me regret teaching you all those things.
It's not like that. You need to make the competition better so you force yourself to get better. That's how it works, right?
Thank you guys for the restreaming commentary and stuff.
Pleasure. That being said, of course, let's. You are, of course, watching this on ALTTP Randomizer 2. If somehow you just stumbled across this channel, consider giving it a follow as well as the other channels. ALTTPR Randomizer, there are 5 of them currently in service, all the way to ALTTP Randomizer 5. There's also we are also largely hosted on the Speed Gaming Network. There are 6 of those channels currently in use: Speed Gaming through Speed Gaming 6. Consider giving those a follow if you want to continue following this tournament as well as any other tournaments that do come up in the. There's many other tournaments going on all the time in gaming. And finally, let's just take a look at what's coming up here. We have, actually, I guess we don't have anything coming up in the super near future here. We had 2 races that started at 5:30, Problems IRL versus F. Coglin on Speed Gaming 4, and Elminster RTA versus Dat Lawson on Speed Gaming 5. So both of those are somewhere in the range of 30 to 40 minutes in, depending on exactly when they started. Actually, I think the Problems IRL and F. Coglin is even a game 2, so I'm not sure. It depends on when they when their game 1 ended as well.
I think the other one is also game 2. If I'm not mistaken, yes, I think both matches.
So they're both probably already nearly done if the first races were not.
I think both are double headers at this point. I'm pretty sure I saw them earlier.
Yep, that's correct. I am now reading the note on the other one and seeing, yes, they're both game 2s. So you might want to check out SG4 and SG5. I have no idea where those races are right now. And then at 8 o'clock, we have a doubleheader between Sonicam and ALG Andy on Speed Gaming 5. So lots of, and then one more, and then at 10 o'clock as well, we have a race of Jacobs for Life versus Jay Meisher. So a little bit more rando coming up tonight.
That's actually gonna be a game 3, so that will be exciting.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Yes, we have a game 1 and game 2, and then that game 2 is going on. We got a game 3. So yeah, so quite the race is going on there. All right. So thank everyone for watching. Thank you, Thelaine, for commentating. I don't think I gave you your thank you right back. Thank you.
Oh, it was a pleasure.
And yeah, thanks you all for watching, and it was a fun seed. Everyone have a great day.